Welcome to Homeschool Today. I'm Andrea Johns, and today we're going to be talking about how to plan your homeschool year.
Life is crazy, it's so wild. Won't you stay with me for a while? Let me show you your superpower. Let's get to it, you know your homeschool teacher. All right.
Planning is one of those tasks that everyone knows they need, but too often procrastinate or completely neglect to actually take the time to complete. When it comes to successful homeschooling, it is absolutely necessary to have a plan. Having a plan starts you off on the right foot with a clearly defined and measurable goal. In today's video, I'm going to cover some strategies for planning your homeschool year and give you some tools to make it easier. The first step, if you homeschooled last year, is to take an honest look at the previous year and evaluate just how well or not how well it went. It is super important to be honest with yourself in the review. It's okay if everything didn't go perfectly according to plan. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I don't know anyone who would ever tell you that their year ever went perfectly according to a plan. That's just life. It's what you do with your failures and the things that didn't go quite so well that you planned that's important. No one ever learned more from their successes than from their failures. Failure is part of the growing process. By taking stock of things that need improvement, you can put together a plan to prevent repeating the same mistakes and make the coming year better than ever. Some of the questions I ask myself each year include, did I have a formal plan for my homeschool last year? Assuming the answer is yes, what on the plan worked really well? Then, did I make changes on the plan through the year? And if I did, were those changes positive? What areas of the plan failed, or do I need to improve? Did I underschedule our school time or overschedule it? How did the children embrace the plan, meaning did they like it or did they hate it? What did we actually accomplish last year, and what did my kids learn? What things did I not plan that I want to make a priority for this next year? I think these are great questions that will help you in putting together a great plan for your next homeschool year. The second step in the planning process is to clearly define your goals for the upcoming year. Don't forget that you'll want to set goals for both the students and for the teacher. In 1981, George T. Duran, a consultant and former director of the corporate planning for Washington Water Power Company, published a paper titled, "There's a Smart Way to Write Management's Goals and Objectives." Now, we're not planning for a major company, but the SMART acronym is, well, SMART to use with all goal setting. SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. A great example would be to have the student's reading goals set for read 4 novels with a minimum of 350 pages by the end of the school year. The goal is specific, read 4 novels. It's measurable, 4. Is it attainable? Assuming the student is in middle school or high school, this would be a novel about every 9 weeks, as you have 36 weeks in the school year. Is it relevant? Reading is part of literature or language arts for school, and it's time-bound by the end of the school year. An example of something that wouldn't work so well might be a goal of not have my kids fight so much. It's not specific enough to qualify as a goal, and if your house is like mine, it's probably not attainable either. It is important to set some goals for your homeschool year, but don't go overboard. Having 25 goals for each kid is simply too much. It's not realistic, and you don't want to set yourself up for failure before you even begin the year. The next step is where things really start to get fun. You actually get to start to plan your year. The first thing I do each year is to take a yearly calendar and mark it up with things like vacations and holidays and kids' birthdays. We plan field trips and anything else that makes the day unavailable for traditional school. I set my calendar up by quarters with 2 semesters, just like most traditional schools. For me, this means each term is 9 weeks and each semester is 18 weeks. I then mark all the things on my monthly calendar at a glance. You can purchase a planner or a calendar, or you can print out a calendar. I have a monthly template link below that you can use for planning. I simply change the month titles and the dates each year. The other thing I put on the monthly calendars are the dates of tournaments and other non-repeating extracurricular activities my kids have scheduled. If a new date is announced, I simply add it to the calendar. Here's a cool tip. I use a different color for each kid. This makes it easy to see conflicts and overscheduling. Finally, I get to the nitty-gritty of creating my scheduling for lesson plans for the year. This step takes the longest when you're planning out your year. Now, if you're using a full package curriculum, they will have lesson plans already created for you. Also, there is a tool called Homeschool Tracker. It's an online planning tool that others can share their lesson plans on. If someone has shared a lesson plan for the curriculum you are using, it can save you hours and hours of effort. However, if you're like me, you will need to structure your courses and plan them out for yourself because you like to do so. I will have a future video that walks you through the process of creating a lesson plan from scratch. It's just simply too much to put in this video. When you look to schedule your lesson plans into a weekly calendar, there are many options available to you. There are a ton of homeschool planners on the market. Many have pretty artwork, encouraging texts on the pages, lovely colors, and extra sections for grocery lists and things like that. They're not hugely expensive and may be a good choice if you can find one that has everything that you want in it. Personally, I'm more of a 3-ring binder type of planner. I'm always making changes to my calendar and shifting through things all through the year. I find it difficult to manage in a prefab planner. I like being able to reprint a week if I need to and just plop it into the binder. Now, I say this next thing from experience. If I make a mistake or I spill coffee on my planner, I panic less if I can simply reprint it, and I don't have money down the drain on a pretty pre-assembled model. Best thing is that over the years, I've created a planner that truly works for me. It allows blocks of planning space for all my subjects, has places for notes on things I need to purchase for upcoming projects, and it has reminders of doctor's appointments and anything else that I need to know that I might need to be reminded of beforehand. Once you have your planner, start scheduling as far out as you feel you need to. I personally schedule my entire year before the school year begins. However, I do know plenty of homeschoolers who plan a semester at a time or even a quarter at a time. It's whatever works best for you. Well, that's the basic structure for planning your homeschool year. I hope this process makes it a bit easier for you and maybe a little more enjoyable too. Please take a minute and hit the like button at the bottom of the screen. It's what keeps us going. And while you're there, click the subscribe button and the little bell so you'll be among the first to know as new videos are released. As always, thank you for joining us. And until next time, happy homeschooling.
Life is crazy. It's